Last year, after the Raspberry Pi Compute Module 4 was released, I started seeing a lot of amazing boards and projects people built with them. The speed and I/O on the CM4 made for a lot of great boards I've already covered, like the Mirko PC, 2 different dual gigabit router boards, the Tofu, and the Aegis, a handheld CM4 game console. But now that we're nearing the 1-year anniversary of the CM4, there are a lot more projects being released. The elusive Turing Pi V2 still seems to be in development, and I'll let you know the second I find out more about it. But in the meantime, I received this CM4 EXT Nano in the mail, and I'm going to be mounting an HQ camera to it for a fun machine vision project. I also received this Pionora, which is a great little platform for Pi Maker projects with its Arduino-style headers, a quick STEMMA QT connector for easy sensor integration, and even an M.2 slot on the bottom where you could use an SSD to boot the CM4. There are also a couple other boards I'll be testing on the channel soon, so subscribe if you want to see them. In the meantime, here are a few other projects I've been following closely and I can't wait to see them in production. At the end of April, Element 14's YouTube channel had a video about Clements Mayer's Raspberry Pi CM4 control board, which uses a Raspberry Pi and an ESP32 to control 3D printers, CNC, or pick-and-place machines. And it got me thinking, I have a 3D printer and it uses a built-in microcontroller, but then I also plug in a Raspberry Pi to make it easier to control it with Octoprint. So why not put a computer directly into the printer's control board? That's exactly what Clements did, and you can check out the full video on Element 14's channel. That board is great, but it's definitely more of an advanced prototype than something you could buy off the shelf and build a printer around today. Luckily for us, if you do want to build your own 3D printer from scratch with a Raspberry Pi 4-level computer built right into it, take a look at the Sigmoid S7P. This board is on Kickstarter now, and it has everything you'd need to build a custom, competent, modern 3D printer like 7 stepper drivers, 4 thermistor channels, 6 power switches, 3 PWM fan connectors, 2 heating cartridge channels, an e-stop circuit, and a power switch for a heated bed. And going further than most off-the-shelf 3D printers, since this is built with a Raspberry Pi inside, you get a 4K HDMI display output, 4 USB ports, gigabit Ethernet, Wi-Fi if you want it, 2 microSD slots, and more. Sigmoid has their custom 3D printer that you're seeing on the screen now, but this thing could be built into a variety of different printer designs. The other thing that's been catching my eye is the number of tiny CM4 boards coming out lately. First, I noticed Uptime Labs Upberry, which is barely larger than the CM4 itself, and it'll have a super thin aluminum case. There's also the Lim Carrier board, which is short for less is more, and it's absolutely the most minimal board you can build, supplying only power through USB-C, so you can have a deployable Wi-Fi CM4 booting off eMMC. Then there's the CM4X Nano, which I have on hand to test, so I'll cover this one more in a future video. And there's the TPU cam, which crams in a Coral TPU and 2 tiny cameras for machine vision, useful for robotics. And DroneCZ's minimal CM4 carrier board, which is based on Professor Fart Sparkle's minimal board. And finally, the UCM4 or Micro CM4, which is about the most minimal CM4 carrier I've seen with built-in gigabit Ethernet. It's almost comical how the whole computer is only a tiny bit larger than the Ethernet jack up on top. And what would these tiny boards be good for? Well, some of them are built specifically for a purpose, like the CM4 EXT, which is built to interface with a tiny Pi camera and do imaging-related work. But the other ones could be helpful if you just want to run a Pi somewhere and have it display things on a monitor or TV, or if you just needed a cheap little board for booting a Wi-Fi CM4. In addition to the Upberry, Uptime Lab is working on a Pi Blade server, and I've been playing around with this, one of his earliest working prototypes. Unfortunately, the M2 connection on this prototype somehow stopped working in my testing, so I'll be testing one of his newer versions soon. But this blade, along with the scale node, has built-in PoE support, so you could run CM4-based servers in even less rack space than my already compact 6Pi 1U rack shelf. Imagine running 88 ARM cores with 180 gigabytes of RAM and NVMe storage on 22 nodes in one rack space. Pretty cool stuff, and I'm hoping one of these 2 blades, or both maybe, are available for purchase soon. And if you're thinking Pi Blade servers are pretty wild, there are plenty of other fun projects I've been tracking too, like Clements Mayer's Super 8 camera digitizer board, which replaces a whole film cartridge in a Super 8 camera with a Raspberry Pi for digital video recording on old Super 8 cameras. And there's the Re-Terminal, Seed Studio's futuristic all-in-one touchscreen unit with a CM4 inside. I'm trying to get my hands on one because it would be great for remote network diagnostics, among other things. There's also the Pizza 4, a microserver from OpenEmbed, great for networking projects, and the PiBox 2 Mini, which is a 2-drive integrated Pi NAS with native SATA support, and then the CM4 AES, which adds high-end digital and analog audio outputs to the CM4. I'm tracking all those projects and more on my Pi PCI Express card website, so go check out the links below. And until next time, I'm Jeff Geerling. So subscribe if you don't want to, what? I might want to turn on the remote so I can actually hit play. And it got me thinking, I am scrolling way too fast here. I wish I were digital sometimes, I wouldn't have those problems of speaking. In addition to the upberry, oh, stop texting me. I really need to learn to set my phone on Do Not Disturb, because that would help a lot.